Welcome back to AFT Dice Season 6. It is the first week of the finals. It's Saturday, the 21st of September, 2024. We've got 4 great games that will set up the finals series. Let's get stuck into it. Is the match of the round, Melbourne versus Brisbane Lions at the MCG. Let's go to the first quarter. And the first quarter's done. Melbourne have kicked 3 goals, 119 to Brisbane, 117. It's 12 points the difference to Melbourne. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Melbourne have kicked 3 goals, 3 to Brisbane, 1 goal, 2. And at halftime, Melbourne are 6-4-40 to the Brisbane Lions, 2-3-15. It is 25 points the difference to Melbourne at halftime. Let's go to the third quarter of this match. And it was even in the third quarter. Brisbane, they kicked 5 goals, 3 to Melbourne, 5 goals, 3. At three-quarter time, it is Melbourne 11-7-73 to Brisbane 7-6-48. It is 25 points the difference at three-quarter time. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And the Melbourne Demons have won the first qualifying final. They kicked 3 goals, 5 to Brisbane, 2 goals, 2. And Melbourne are going to they've booked a spot in the preliminary final in a couple of 4 days, which is the 25th of September. And Brisbane, they will have to play the semi-final at the Gabba. Don't know who's going to be playing against the Brisbane Lions, but let's find out. So the final scores, Melbourne 14-12-96 to Brisbane 9-8-62. All right, it's very hard playing away. And Melbourne, they've been in the informed side. They've gone on to win another game. So their winning streak is at 7. All right, let's go to the next game. It is St Kilda versus Hawthorn at Marvel Stadium. Yeah, the first quarter. First quarter has been done, and Hawthorn, they've kicked 6 goals, 3-39 to St Kilda, 2-3-15. It's Hawthorn by 24 points at quarter time. Let's go to the second quarter. All right. It is St Kilda. They kicked 5 goals, 5 to Hawthorn, 4 goals, 1. And at halftime, St Kilda are 7-8-50 to Hawthorn, 10-4-64. Let's go to the third quarter. And the third quarter, Hawthorn have kicked 4 goals, 1 to St Kilda, 1 goal, 1. And at three-quarter time, we've got St Kilda 8 goals, 9-57 to Hawthorn, 14 goals, 5-89. So it is 32 points to the Hawthorn team. So let's go to the last quarter of this game. And St Kilda have kicked 5 goals, 3 to Hawthorn, 1 goal, 4 in the last quarter. But St Kilda couldn't get over the line. Hawthorn won by 9 points. They booked their spot in the second preliminary final. So the final scores, St Kilda 13-12-90 to Hawthorn 15-9-99. All right, let's go to the first elimination final. It is Richmond versus Sydney at the MCG. Let's go to the first quarter. And the first quarter's done. We've got Richmond. They kicked 4 goals, 4-28 to Sydney, 4 goals, 5-24. 29. Sydney by 1 point. Let's go to the second quarter. And second quarter, Richmond have kicked 3 goals 4 to Sydney 2 goals 5. And at half time, Richmond are 7-8-50 to Sydney 6-10-46. Richmond by 4 points at half time. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter's done. We've got Sydney, they kicked 3 goals 6 to Richmond 1 goal 3. And at three-quarter time, Richmond are down by 11 points. They're 8-11-59 to Sydney 9-16-70. All right, this is going to go down to the wire. Let's go to the last quarter. And in the end, Richmond, they kicked 5 goals 5 to Sydney 2 goals 5. And in the end, Richmond have got up and won by 7 points. Final scores, Richmond 13-16-94 to Sydney 11-21-87. So Sydney's out of the finals race for the premiership. Let's go to the next game. It is the last game of the final, the first week of the finals. It's Carlton versus West Coast Eagles at Marvel Stadium. And let's go to the first quarter. And the first quarter's done. We've got West Coast. They've come out. They've kicked 5 goals, 5-35 to Carlton 139. All right. So West Coast, first season in the finals. We've got Carlton down by 26 points at this stage. Let's go to the second quarter. And the second quarter, we've got West Coast. They've kicked 5 goals 4 to Carlton 4 goals 6. And at half time, we've got Carlton 5-9-39 to West Coast 10-9-69. So West Coast are up by 30 points at half time. Let's go to the third quarter. And the third quarter, we've got Carlton. They kicked 4 goals 2 to West Coast 2 goals 1. And at three-quarter time, we've got Carlton down by 17 points. Carlton, 9 goals 11, 65 to West Coast Eagles 12-10. 82. All right. Last quarter of the first week of the finals. Let's go and see who. Okay, we've got West Coast. They have won by 2 points. Carlton, they kicked 4 goals 4 to West Coast 2 goals 1. But in the end, West Coast have held on by 2 points to progress into the semi-finals. All right. Okay, so the first semi-final games, we've got Brisbane versus Richmond at the Gabba, and we've got St Kilda versus West Coast at Marvel Stadium. All right, let's go to the premiership, road to premiership. Okay. So the road to premiership, I've already announced the first semi-finals in week 2, but we've got Melbourne in the first preliminary final. They're there, and Hawthorn are in the second preliminary final. So the winner out of Brisbane and Richmond will play Hawthorn, and the winner out of St Kilda versus West Coast will play Melbourne. We'll see you next time on AFT Dice Season 6 on the 23rd of September 2024.